Start again. Hello, this is Elizabeth and Elton Brewington with Discover Brightside, the video podcast and network. And we are doing EQ for Prosperity this month. And I'm so delighted to launch two books on our channel this month. And here we are with Life Switch with the author Joel Steele. So, Joel, share your story and tell us about this amazing book that you're launching.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Elizabeth. I love what you're doing and helping to educate and entertain people. And that's really what my book is all about. It's inspiring people, educating them on things in life that they might go through, maybe haven't thought about yet. But you either learn from your own experiences or you learn from others. And so I'm trying to share the things I've gone through and how I didn't take the quick way to success. In fact, I took the opposite way and found myself ultimately in financial services, but not by design. In fact, I thought that was the most boring business imaginable. So I decided to choose a different industry with a 90% failure rate, which was the restaurant industry. And I opened up a healthy fast food restaurant, right, a new concept in the early 2000s. And it went well for a little bit, but ultimately it fell on its face and really exploded in my face. And that was extremely difficult. And I can't even put words to tell you how hard that was. I was at the point where walking around the city of Philadelphia in my early 20s, I was jealous of the homeless people laying on the street because I felt that they had nothing to lose. And it was just the worst time of my life, an absolute low point. But from that, I decided not to quit on my life. I felt I had a lot of time left and the vision in my mind of the life I wanted to live, success that I had tasted before. And so I very carefully but quickly chose the financial services industry as a way to pay back all the debt that I had, ultimately paid off my debt and learned to love the industry. Because ultimately, the reason I started my restaurant and ultimately got into and stayed in financial services is because I love to help people. And that's the key. I'm living with passion. I'm helping people every day, whether it's their finances, fitness, nutrition. That's what makes me feel fulfilled and alive. And so that's why I do this. And that's why I wrote the book to help inspire people to live the best version of their own lives, to stop looking on social media and trying to be someone that they're not and never will be, but wake up and really, if you think about this, if you can be happy to be yourself, with happy with your own life, looking in the mirror, feeling proud of yourself, I mean, that is the ultimate level of success. It's not the amount of money you have, it's not the age that you retire. Being happy with yourself and enjoying each day as best you can, even taking those bad days and learning something from them. And that's what it's all about, is getting the most out of life. And I've worked with retired clients for the last 22 years. All of these people that are over here in this part of their life, they'd give all their money, or at least most of it, to be young again. Yet the younger people have no money and they wish they had all the money. So you've got these two parts, two segments where no one's really perfectly content where they're at. So if we can sort of find a happy medium, then everyone can be happy. And so I'm right in the middle of that. I'm in my mid 40s, almost I guess my late 40s. I'm 46. But I've learned from these people that are 60, 70, 80, 90. I've taken these messages from them, their regrets, what they're happy with, if their advice, and I pass that through to myself and other people in their 20s and 30s and 40s. And the idea is to just be happy to wake up. Every day is an opportunity to live life to the fullest. And so that's what I'm doing. I couldn't be happier. I don't get a ton of sleep because the book just launched yesterday and I'm still running a very successful practice. But I'm just excited to get up and see what happens and who I'm going to talk to, who I'm going to meet, who I can help. So I'm living my best life and I want other people to do the same.
So make that switch and get his book and switch that light on. So, what is the one strategy that you think most people are very fearful of in order to living their full potential that your book can answer?
Oh, yeah. Clearly, people are afraid to fail, right? No one wants to get their outfit dirty. No one wants to be embarrassed. The reality is, real growth happens from failure, from pullbacks. And we talk about the stock market. The stock market, it's healthy for it to go down, right? To get cut back, pruned, if you will, to have healthier growth. Right now, 2025, towards the end of this year, People have had great returns, but yet they're not happy because they're worried that this tree might tip over, right? So we need these healthy pullbacks. So we all need to take a step back, kind of get a trim, almost like a haircut, to have that healthy, sustained, continued growth. So if people want to grow personally, they need to try new things. They need to stop being on autopilot and saying no to things that are outside their comfort zone and say yes. Try things, fail, learn. Look, when you're out at the bar or at a friend's house having a beer or a glass of wine, what do you talk about? You don't talk about the stock market. You talk about the interesting, funny stories. So you go through good times, bad times. Some of the worst times become the most memorable, the ones that you can learn and launch higher from than if you didn't have that experience. So I would say don't be afraid to fail. Be afraid to look back when you're an older person and realize that you did not realize your full potential.
And Joel is offering $1 million challenge. So if you buy his book, tell us what we're going to do if you sell 1 million books.
Yeah, 100%. If LifeSwitch sells 1 million copies, I'm going to personally write out a check for $1 million. More specifically, I'm going to break that down into the top 10 charities that are voted for through my website, which is bookjoelsteele.com. Top 10 charities are going to each get $100,000 each. I am a pretty frugal guy. I'm very cautious with my money, but I've never been so excited to write big checks in my life because it's a huge impact that we can all make together. And all people have to do is buy the book. You can get the audiobook for 99 cents. You can download the book or you can buy the book. But together, we can prove that positive change can happen by simple activity, simple action. And ultimately, if I don't hit that goal, people that do get the book are going to be entertained, they're going to be inspired. But I'm excited to prove to the world that we can do amazing things together. And the world needs it. There's so many negative things right now. That's what sells. This is something that's never been done before. And so far, just yesterday when the book launched, we're off to a really good start.
Excellent. And we are very famous on this channel for raising $1 million because we worked with the AKA, which is a sorority group, and they had all their 50 states nationally raise $1 million. And I think they did more than they doubled it in one day. So, yes, Joel, you can do it. We're behind you. So, get the book, help him reach that million goal so that he can make that donation. So thank you for watching. You're on Discover Brightside. If you have a comment, please let us know. And Elton, do you have a question?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Um, you raised a very important point, Joel, and I really commend you for it. I mean, we're reaching, I believe, a time where there are going to be more millionaires, billionaires, and now discussions of trillionaires. And that and the numbers are growing, and people are driven by their own demand, and they're willing to take greater risk. So, I mean, in terms of your book, and I know you're excited about what this could mean, but and you've spoken briefly about fear. Are there other obstacles that you believe that if we could surpass, we could reach the larger number of millionaires, billionaires, and trillionaires?
Well, I think this is what you're asking me, but people are distracted. They're distracted with life, entertainment, right? There's breaking news, there's videos. I mean, I see my kids are always watching something. People don't have this layer anymore where they get to think and take a step back as far as what's important to themselves. And that's almost really the layer of boredom, right? Getting time to think. You used to sit in the car as a kid, you'd say, I'm bored, I'm bored. Eventually your mind starts to wander into things, whether consciously or subconsciously. But you talked about the race to being a billionaire, multi-billionaire, trillionaire. Ultimately, you can't run and get away from yourself. So no matter how much money you do or don't have, the question is, if you say, let's say you were a multi-millionaire, you had more money than you ever needed in your whole life, and you didn't need money anymore, you didn't need to work, what would you do? How would you spend your day? And that question paralyzes people with fear because they don't know. Oh my God, what am I going to do with myself? Who am I? Right? I don't need money anymore. I'm off the hamster wheel. What do I want to do with my time? And that freaks people out. And so the goal is to realize who you are, what makes you tick, learn how you're wired. And then if you understand what you're passionate about, what your purpose is, then the question is, why can't you start to live like that now? Why does it have to wait until later?
And yes, you can become a millionaire in one day if you win the lottery, if somebody writes you a check. So for those people who are naysayers or non-believers, and George will tell you, save it, put that whole $1 million in savings, don't spend it, and then just work on living on the interest. So thank you so much. That was excellent, Joel. And I'm so excited about launching your book. And I'm going to get together with you and all of you. And I hope you all come back in November for our veterans and business broadcast. So please subscribe and write us a comment and write reviews.